All right. So before we go, because we are long on time as we usually are, Robbie, what do you think of all that? Have we convinced you? Are you going to start singing the Internationale? Are you going to workers of the world? You have nothing to lose but your change.
So what I got from that conversation is that socialism possibly is viable. Communism, no. That's what I'm picking up from that, because there's all the examples that were given in that conversation. Like, for example, with China and Russia as it is now, they're not communist societies. And the idea that everyone will get enough where some jerk isn't going to try and take over his neighbor's stuff just because he has enough already, just as a job in human history. Socialism is possible. Communism, no.
Communism was always billed as an ideal, right? Like that's why it's not called it was called the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, not communist republics. It was the Communist Party was the ideal. The theory was that within hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, humanity would evolve to the point where you could create what they called the communist man, which meant, the communist man and woman who's so selfless that basically greed and the capitalist impulse would eventually just dissolve into the but that's the only state that ever claimed to declare that communism had been achieved was Pol Pot, really at the end when he had lost his mind in
I was gonna say,
and like he this well, Manila, he was, and he like ended. Paper money, like money went out of circulation, and it was part of the insanity that was part of the killing fields. But nobody, all other Marxists were horrified. They were all like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And there were a very brilliant man.
There was talk that he was doing all of that out of the effects of a syphilitic brain. That there were holes in his brain.
Something was wrong with him for sure.
So
maybe. A system kind of like what you advocate for that I could get behind would be if the states got the majority of the power, but the federal government here in this country being responsible for the value by regulating the value of the dollar, getting rid of corporations, nationalizing industries are actually necessary, setting up a UBI because with
soft socialism.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, as technology and especially with automation advancing, like what Caleb talked about with the truck drivers, those people need to have something to do. So you got to have some kind of a UBI, close the borders in immigration because you don't need all those people.
Cool.
And you should be able to say that without being called either a commie by people on my side of the aisle or a Nazi on your side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just people got to realize that the system we currently have does not work. Something else needs to change.
Well, it's working for a small minority of the population.
The problem
the small minority.
Well, the problem is that's how things blow up. It's having one Luigi's, you have millions of them.